everyone, Nancy Uko here, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining us again for this episode of DAP, where you get the divorce attorney perspective on how to identify and maintain healthy relationships. So today on DAP, I want to talk to my professional singles about being ready to receive the type of love that they're asking for. How to be open, but not too open at the same time. Because I know as professional singles, sometimes we get in this element, we get in this mind frame that works very well for us as professionals, but when we try to take that into a relationship, it can actually hinder as professionals. Sometimes we think that having achieved everything that we have up until this point, having to go through everything that we went through to get where we're at, that there's not much more that somebody else can teach us as far as our lives and where we're going. But that's not true in the realm of relationships. You still have a lot to learn. You still have a lot to learn in regards to love, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be watching this channel right now. You wouldn't be a professional single. You would be happily in a devoted relationship, married, kids, the whole 9 yards. But you don't know everything, and that is okay to admit. As professionals, sometimes we have to be so above that we don't want to admit when we're wrong or when we don't know a certain thing. And that's why we end up closing up and putting our profession or putting our ideologies right on our sleeve when people meet us right away and just give this unapproachable aspect. But we don't need to do that. At the end of the day, we're looking for our best friend, the person who's going to fulfill our needs with a smile on their face. And how can we ever be able to identify that person if we automatically block everybody out from the get-go and tell them, I don't need you. I don't need your attention. I don't need your time. I don't need whatever it is that you're offering. Yes, love is scary. It is extremely scary. But if you don't jump in and get outside of your comfort zone, how can you ever grow? How can you ever expect to succeed? And how can you ever expect to love that deep and genuine love that people have forgotten about? I believe people have forgotten about, that is still there, still quite possible. For example, a friend of mine took her colleague out for drinks, and while the two women were out socializing, they bumped into somebody that my friend knew from a while back. And the man, being the gentleman that he is, offered to buy drinks for both of the ladies. Well, my friend's colleague's response was, I can buy my own drinks. And although that may be true, the impression that you're giving off to this person is unapproachable. Why would they want to do anything for you at that point? Why would they want to entertain getting to know you further when you've shut them down immediately? And I'm sure that's not how my friend's colleague meant it when she said that. And though it is true, it's not something that maybe you have to have and hold on to every day, at every time, every moment of your life. You can let that go and allow somebody to enter into your life just enough to see if they are possible of being the one that can love you correctly. If you have that guard up, you're blocking your own blessings. There's no way that anybody can get into you enough to know that you're a good person, that you're worthy of love, that you can give them the type of love that they're seeking. So if you have this guard up all the time, yeah, it protects us in our professional lives, and it protects us against deceit and people who may not have the best intentions, but it also blocks us from those blessings as well. So you have to be willing to be open. This was one of the things that I had to learn when I started the HighFliers, when I started my own company. You know, I've been to law school. I'm probably the most successful person in my family. So when people in my family try to give me advice, it's like, you can't tell me anything because I've already surpassed what you've done in your life. So therefore, the information that you're trying to give me is moot at this point and unhelpful. So I walked around life for a long time feeling like that until I met people who were doing more than me, that were succeeding beyond where I had succeeded. And then when they would try to tell me things, I would try to bring that same perspective. Well, I've been there, I've done that, I know what I'm talking about. No, you are never too big to grow. You are never too close to be open. In other words, you have to be willing to take on new advice, new experiences in and outside of your relationship. I had to be willing to sit back and say, okay, I don't know everything. I'm willing to be open enough for you to enlighten me. That is the same approach that you have to have in a relationship. You can't enter a relationship and say, well, I have everything I need. What can you bring to the table? Sit back and just watch and see, what can this person provide for you? What can this person bring to make your day just a little bit brighter than the one before? And if you look at situations in that sense, you won't be unapproachable. People won't say, oh, well, I can't get through to this person. I just can't read them. I don't know what's going on in their mind, because you're open. You're open to whatever comes. No expectations, no disappointments, because you're just going with the flow and just seeing what life can possibly bring to you. But in that same note, I want to tell you guys not to be too open. There is such a thing as too open. Sometimes we're too eager to find that love of our life that we just try to let in any old body. Sometimes we're so eager to have love that we miss a lot of the red flags. We miss a lot of the things that say this person is not meant for you, is not going to work for you, is not healthy for you, just because we want to be in something. I had a coworker that I worked with, and she's an amazing person. She's doing so much with her life. She ended up getting into a relationship that she really liked. She really liked this individual. But slowly but surely, her interaction with this individual had her falling back on her work, missing deadlines, not as enthusiastic about what she had put her whole life into, basically. And instead of noticing that a good man would not ask you to do that, a good man would not put you in a position to where you're losing, a good man would not put you in a position to where you're failing on yourself just to spend time with them, just to entertain them, just to be in that I want to be in love moment. Not somebody that is healthy for you and wants to see you succeed, wants to see you progress, would ever ask you to be in that position. But because she was so eager and so wanting of somebody in her life to love her, she could not see those red flags that were blatantly in front of her face. So those are two different examples of a woman who would not let anybody in, even to buy them a drink, to a woman who was just so eager to let in anybody that she allowed somebody who would bring her down and have her step down from the hierarchy that she's already maintained for herself. Both of those I would definitely discourage. I don't ever want to tell anybody that what they're doing is wrong, because everybody has their different ways and everything is going to work for every individual person. But it is my advice that if you stay too open, or if you're not open at all, then you're not going to be in a position to receive the type of love that you're asking for. So this is my episode of the Divorce Attorney Perspective. If you guys have any questions about this, if you guys have anything that you guys would like me to touch up on, any situations in which this has happened to you as well, please like, subscribe, comment below, all of that good jazz. And I will see you guys here next week for our next episode of the Divorce Attorney Perspective. Thanks, you guys. This episode of the Divorce Attorney Perspective is brought to you by the HighFliers, where we help professional singles elevate the way they date. Find out more at www.thehighflyers.com.